Trading Nut, episode 90.
So you need to develop your style, what type of trader you are first, right? And go back to the strategy where you used to make money before and do the back test on it. Back test on it, start journaling your trade. At the end of the day, you will be profitable. But if you start doubting on your strategy and start jumping from strategy to strategy, I'm sure maybe it will take 10 years for you to be a profitable trader, or maybe you'll give up soon.
The market's going to do something. Your job is not to fight it.
The market never, ever runs away. It's always there.
That personal diary of trading will make you a much better trader than...
I could be right about the direction, but wrong about the trade.
Don't focus on the monetary side.
Trying to make too much money on a trade is what I have seen killed every trader.
Your losses offer you some of the greatest insight you can find into your mistakes.
Relax, learn the process.
Candlestick pattern trading is a freaking trap.
Don't be in a rush to become a millionaire.
Let the market tell you what the market wants to tell you.
This podcast is not financial, trading, or investing advice of any kind. Before we start, I'd like to thank our sponsored partner for today's episode, City Traders Imperium. Now, CTI has one of the world's best funded accounts and learning platforms all in one. Get a CTI Forex funded account today and advance a step closer to achieving your personal freedom. To find out more, head over to citytradersimperium.com. That's citytradersimperium.com. What's up, traders? Welcome to the show. Now, we've got Aman from Dubai coming up in the interview today. Before we jump over there, I want to tell you about a few things that we've got going here on at Trading Nut. If you haven't checked them out already, please go and check them out because they're awesome. So one is called Trader versus Trader. This is where I'm getting random traders from all over the world to compete against each other. And they're competing for, well, it's really for top spot, but there's also a prize that's been put up by my sponsor at the moment. City Traders Imperium are giving away a £400 funded, a valuation funded account for $12,500, which if you pass the evaluation, you get a funded account for 50 grand. So that's up for grabs. There's guys are interested in doing the challenge purely for the competitive aspect of it. They want to prove that they know how to read a price chart. They share with you exactly how they're doing their analysis. So, guys, if you're ever wondering how these people that, at least feel confident in their trading, do their analysis, then head over there. You've got to see these things. They're all recorded. They're all up there. The replays are there. I've got a couple of them on highlights as well. So if you want to watch those, you can get through the bulk of it a lot quicker. They do go on for about an hour, sometimes an hour and a half. But it's really entertaining. We get a winner. We're currently doing the first round. We're going to be moving into semi-finals and then finals, where we're going to pick an overall winner for this trader versus trader stuff. So guys, go and check that out over there at Trading Nut YouTube. There's also a leaderboard for the guests of the show, currently topped by Forex, who did a 7.61 in 5 trades on the TradingView replay mode. So that's the score to beat. He's doubled Clayton Hall, who managed to do it twice. He did it twice. The retake he got basically the same score as he got in the first time round. We did a retake because his stop losses were way too big in the first one, and so we've got a new rule. You've got to have a maximum 500 pips stop loss. So guys, that's all happening there. If you're not on the YouTube, go and check out the YouTube. If you're only listening to the podcast, do be sure to like the videos. Do also be sure to subscribe. It does keep these videos coming to you, this education. It's pure. Just take what you can from it, guys. There was somebody, I read a little comment from somebody recently, yesterday in fact. It was a trader who I'm trying to get on the show. I've heard really good things about him. And if I get him on, I think it's a massive coup for us. He hasn't come back to me yet. But one of the things he said in his Instagram story was, don't be one of these people that sort of demands the perfect answer to everything in the one video you're going to watch. Just take from it what you can. So find the value, find the 15% of value in one video and use that and, take it on board. Don't go, oh, well, that gave me nothing. I've got nothing out of that, or I've wasted an hour and a half of my life. Take value from everything, guys. Take what you can. Now, and that's the way Trading Nut works, right? That's the way it works. I put the stuff out there. I can't guarantee it's going to be the answer to all your problems, but at least if you can grab one or two things from each and every piece of content that goes out there, over time you'll pull together enough information to find success yourself. That's the idea. All right, guys, enough from me. Now, if you are interested in automating some or all of what you do, I've got the Robot Builders Club, there's a special offer on. Go and check it out over there on tradingnut.com. There's also free training as well. If you've got no idea how to do trading robots, then I do a free training and I show you how I build them as well. So go and check that out, guys. All right, without further ado, let's get on with the show here with Aman. All right, folks, here we are. We've got Aman, otherwise known as MillionPips on the internet. Aman, welcome to the show.
Thank you, Cam. Thanks for having me on your show.
So you're all the way over there in Dubai, which is about an 18-hour flight from me. Just first of all, how are things going with this COVID-19 stuff over there? I haven't heard from anyone in Dubai yet, so just interested to hear how you guys are getting on.
Basically Dubai, like UAE, United Arab Emirates, taking a lot of precautions. All right, so far it's under control. Not much cases. Social distances are followed, but everything is open right now. Shopping malls, even the schools are open, but mostly like schools we are doing like online learning. But apart from that, it's under control. Tourists are welcome right now, and they need to do the COVID test before they come to the country. And once they are allowed to the country, they are doing COVID test. After that, only they are allowed to move out. But otherwise, so far so good. We are hoping for the vaccine soon.
Yeah, aren't we all? All right, now back onto trading. So you've been doing this for a while. Do you want to start with telling the guys your story? How did you get into it, and all the way up until now?
All right. Before I start trading, right, before I become a trader, I used to work in hospitality industry as a customer service manager for almost 10 years. So what I have realized, like after working for 10 years, like I used to give my maximum of time to the company, right? I used to work for 10 to 14 hours. Being a manager, it's a big responsibility. So what I have realized, like what I'm doing, I'm spending my time for someone to grow their dream, right? At the end of the day, what I'm getting is my paycheck. So, and even I was not able to give my time to my newborn baby. So I start looking at the ways like start searching on the website, the different way to make money so that once I become a financial independent, so I can look after my family, I can spend a lot of time with them, right? So that's how I started jump into this industry of trading. So it took for me like almost 15 months to become a profitable trader. So once I start making money consistently, then I have decided to go as a full-time trader. So I resigned from my company. A lot of my colleagues, they told me, why are you taking this risk? Because trading is a risk, right? So I told them the biggest risk in their life is not to take a risk. So I took that risk. Today, I'm a full-time trader and I'm a mentor. This is a short story of my journey.
All right. Well, we want the long story here on Trading Nut. So what I want to know is
that
15-month period, right? The 15-month period to profitability. How did that come about? Like, I mean, what was the very first step you took?
Okay, like this is a trading cycle for everyone, right? A newbie when you want to become a trader, right? So first thing, you go to Google, you start searching what is trading. Then you go to YouTube, you start watching video yourself. But the thing is that you can't become a doctor just watching a YouTube channel, right? You need to do a proper study. You need to have a proper mentor for that. So I had like two very best mentors in my trading career, and I learned a lot from them. And I had to develop my edge in that strategy itself, all right? So
first of all, how did you find those mentors? I mean, and why did you sort of make the decision that YouTube wasn't going to do it for me, and just going and Googling's not going to do it for me either? I mean, what made you sort of think I've got to go and get a mentor, and then how did you select those mentors?
Of course, when you start losing money, right? So that means you're doing something wrong. It's not like you're just watching YouTube and you start trading. So I need a mentor who can guide me, like a correct strategy, what exactly I'm doing wrong or right. Okay, so the way you have to look at the market, that's what is going to change everything for you, because everyone has a different strategy and everyone have a different psychology of a trading, right? So some are scalpers, some are swing traders, some are like just an intraday trader, some are positions trader. So this all comes on your patience, right? So what I have discovered, like after learning all different type of strategy, a higher time frame works for me.
But hang on. Right? Let's just just jump back a bit, right? I want to work out. I want to hear your journey. Like, so what happened to you? You're on YouTube. You're watching these videos, and then all of a sudden you're like, this isn't going to. How did you get to that point? Tell us that bit.
Okay. So shall I start from this YouTube?
Yeah. So basically, you've said I looked on YouTube and then I decided to go for a mentor. What made you that? Were you trading at the time? Were you on a demo account, a live account? Did you blow an account? What happened?
All right. So I started watching YouTube. Of course, there are good contents on the YouTube, like basically what is the MT4, what is the broker, how to open an account, how to put the orders, limits. All right. So I open an account straight away, a live account. I deposit $1,000 and just came to know from one of my friend, okay, this is the right time to sell gold. And I sold gold without putting a stop loss. Within 4 hours, I blown my account. I got a margin call, right? So
and can you remember how many lots you put on that trade?
That was like 0.30 into 2 times.
Right.
0.30.
So 0.6, yeah.
Yeah, so 0.6, and the gold is very volatile, so it doesn't take to blow your account $1,000, nothing, right? So I blown that account. I got a margin call actually, so the broker has to kick me out from the trade. So then I decided, okay, I really need a mentor to teach me on that, right? So I really had 2 good mentors, but before I get 2 mentors, I had a lot of other worse mentors, right? So because a lot of people, they charge you just money just to share the PDF, which is available freely on the website of the MillionPips, and all other videos like support and resistance, or using Bollinger Bands, using different kind of indicators. So it really didn't work for me, okay? Because I was not fit for that type of trading psychology, okay? So then I find a mentor like who trading in the higher time frames. They start looking at the charts at the like on the higher time frame. So when I follow their strategy and I start looking at the charts on the higher time frame, that was the turning point of my trading, right? The bigger time frame tells you the story of a trading. So from there, I start taking trades and I start journaling my trades, and that's how I start getting profitable. But it's in the long term, because what I believe trading is a long-term game. It's not a get-rich quick scheme. Yeah. So.
And so, how did you? So, I suppose what's immediately for me makes you seem different from other guys that jump into this is the fact that it didn't take you that long to go to the longer term timeframes. You did that. Somebody said, "Oh, that's where you need to be," and you were there straight away. You didn't fight that. And secondly, you were journaling. You were journaling your trades, which I guarantee, like 90% of my listeners out there are not journaling their trades, every single trade. Why do you think you were different and did both those things and did them first time and didn't question it?
See, when you start journaling your trade, right? So you start to know, like you try to start asking questions yourself, like what did you done wrong, and what did you done right, right? So you can't be 100% right all the time. There are losing trades too. So once you start journaling that trades, that means you are going to avoid that type of trade, right? And you start focusing on your winning trades, and that's how you start getting your psychology attached to your charts when you start looking at the charts of the higher time frame. So basically, my turning point of the trading was when I start looking at the higher time. When you drop down to a lower time frame, there's a lot of noise in the market, right? So I start avoiding that noise, and I start trading at the higher time frame. So that's where I find my consistency in the trading.
And so when you started on those higher timeframes, were you actually placing trades on the higher timeframes using what you'd learned from the mentor?
Yeah. So let's say, for example, I'm a swing trader. Yeah. So in swing trader, there are 2 types of trading. You can do a position trading where you hold a trade for a long term, can be months. And as a swing trader, maybe you can hold the trade for weeks and for the months. Let's say, for example, if I want to trade a daily time frame, zone. We trade zone to zone, from demand to supply. Let's say if I'm buying from a demand, my next my first profit will be the next supply zone. So let's say if I want to trade a daily time frame, that means I need to look at the 4 hour or 1 hour. I'm not going to drop less than that time frame, because the lower the time frame, the more noise you find in the market, right? So what I'm going to do, let's say, for example, if I want to buy Euro USD, for example, I'm going to start looking at the daily time frame chart. If the market is in the trend, and where the market right now, is it too high to buy or is it too low to buy, right? If it's too low to buy, I'm going to look for a buying opportunity. I drop down to 4 hour. I adjust my zone into 1 hour, and I look for buying opportunity from the fresh demand based on my price action confirmation.
Okay, so that's what you're doing now. So we're still back in the day, like, so when you were still in that 15-month period, right? So there's obviously, you started trading on the higher time frames, but did it just go smoothly from day one, and you were like making money straight away, or how did that sort of play out?
As I said, like for the swing trade, right, you need to have patience to hold the trade. So what I realized, like whenever the price is to make, let's say for example, if I buy from a zone, right? So I'm in the profit, and suddenly when price make a new high, right, the price start reversing. So that's where your psychology comes into, like, oh, I'm right in the trade. I was in good profit, so why I'm in loss, right? So maybe you're in fear. You start closing the trade too early, and maybe in a greed, you just close a market, like let's say in 50 pips the market moves, and you close your trade, and suddenly the market moves afterward, like in few days, to 500 pips, right? So that's where I have learned to be patient. So at the beginning, I used to get this thing because if I buy the price at the very low area, and I used to close maybe in 50 pips profits. But when I start looking at the higher time frame, like in this full year, which is in the 15 months, what I realized, the price do the same thing, whatever it is. There is a manipulation happens in the market, but at the lower time frame. On the higher time frame, you can't manipulate the market, because on the higher time frame, you'll see where are the big banks and institutes are buying. Whenever they buy and sell, they leave their footprints on the market. That footprint you need to catch, and you need to trade with them. You can't trade against them.
Okay, so from what I understand, you're saying is like you started doing well and getting in the position, okay, but you just wouldn't hold on to the positions long enough to really eke out what you should have been eking out of each trade. Is that right?
Correct.
Okay,
yeah, absolutely right.
And so what was the difference in your sort of account balance, like, from that initial I'm taking profit at 50 pips to I'm letting price at its level, come back, and then push forward 70, 100, 200 pips, whatever. What did your account balance sort of growth look like at that point?
See, that time, like maybe I was growing, like let's say a 5 to 7%, yeah, in a month, because trading all different pairs. What I realized, like as per the time, why not to split the lot size? Let's say, for example, if I want to trade a standard lot, why not to take 3 positions on that standard lot, 0.33. So if I open 3 positions, and if I buy from a demand, my first take profit should be the next supply. So once it hit my first take profit, I'm going to move my stop loss into break even, right? So if I'm right, the market will continue. So that's how I will start making profit for the long term. And even if I'm wrong, the market is going to stop me out, but still at the end of the day, I made money on that trade.
And you were taking 50% of the overall initial position at the first take profit, or was it more?
See, basically I risk 2% per trade, right? So, and my risk to reward is always like minimum 1:3, minimum 1:3. Sometimes it's 1:10, 12, like that. So the first 1:3, it hit, I move my stop loss into break even, let the trade breathe, let it run.
Yeah, sorry, my question is like, how much of the remaining trade was running? Was it like 50%?
Remaining 2 positions.
So it was the same size as the first take profit.
Yeah.
Okay, right, gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. And so once you did that, how did things sort of progress and from there?
That's where I start counting the zones, right? So I take profit in the first zone, then I have another target of the second zone, and the third. When it reaches to a third zone, it will take some time, but I'm already in the profit. So it's like I deposit money in the bank, and it just it's getting interest day by day. Even the bank doesn't pay you that much, but the trading is paying you, right? So now I'm a risk-free, but my trade is running. But at the end of the day, I'm in a profit. Even if the market comes back, hit my stop loss, but I'm already in a profit. So this is where you need to learn patience, and it comes as per the experience. So this is where this is how I divide my trades, right? So opening 2 to 3 positions, take first take profit, move stop loss into break even, let other trade runs with different targets. So basically I trade zone to zone. I do not enter in the middle of the zone.
And how many, I suppose, how many trades do you typically win, or when you first started, were you winning versus now?
Cam, I trade basically everything. I trade indexes, I trade oil, I trade gold, I trade natural gas, and I trade all major Forex pairs. There's no such thing like, I have any favorite pair, because it's a supply and demand. It's economics. If I see something at the high price, I have to look for selling opportunity. Right? So I just wait for the opportunities to come based on my price section, and I try to take an entry when the price is really too high. So why to miss that type of zone when you take that entry and you start getting a profit, So if I sell something at the high price where the big banks and institutes start selling, I sell with them and hold my trade. I make money for a long term. Because if let's say, for example, I close that trade in 50 pips and market drop 500 pips, and then suddenly I decide to enter in the market after 500 pips to go down again. Definitely that time the market is going to reverse. And that's where you start getting losses.
Okay, so the question was like, what's your winning percentage? How many trades do you win?
So far my winning percentage is between 70 to 75%. Nobody can win 100% for sure.
Okay,
right?
And has it always been like that, or was it worse than that at the start?
At the beginning, my when I start gaining consistency, that time my winning ratio was 40%. But you'll not believe I used to make money in that 40%. So let's say, for example, I take 10 trades in a month, with the risk to reward 1:3, and I risk $100 per trade. So let's say even if I lose 6 trades, which I lost $600, and I win only 4 trades, which is 40% of win ratio. In these 4 trades, I made $1,200. So if I minus my $600, which is the cost of my doing business, at the end of the day, I made $600. The person who makes money in this market is called a successful trader. So what I believe, the trading is a long-term game.
And just on that, so the first take profit where you take like half of the position off, would that cover the full loss if you had a full loss on that trade with 2 positions losing at the same time?
Yes, it's going to cover, because I'm going to move my stop loss into break even, right? Or maybe in some profit. And because I have other trades also running. So that's why I said I don't focus particularly in one pair. I trade anything in the market as per the economics, as per the supply and demand rule.
Okay, so if you had to sort of give an R rating or a risk to reward ratio for each trade that you take, I suppose for the initial take profit and then for the runner, what does that look like?
Well, first of all, when you take a trade, you need to make sure that your risk to reward minimum need to be 1:3, or lower the 1:2. You don't go like 1:1. 1:1 is like a flipping a coin. It's like you're gambling, simple as it is, right? And of course, you need to decide, like, start taking profits into a certain levels. It's not like you just hold the trade. Definitely, market is going to reverse. Market moves in waves. Okay, so you need to decide trading into zone to zone. If you trade in one zone, you take your next profit into the next zone, move the remaining position into break even. So let the trade breathe and let it run. So at the end of the day, if you manage proper risk to reward, even if you win 40% of the time, you will be winner in this game. So when I say proper risk to reward, that doesn't mean like in one position you're going to open 1%. Let's say in one position you're going to take a risk of 1%. The next pair you're going to take into 2% risk. So that's not going to match. It needs to be a tally. So if I decide, okay, I'm going to open a standard lot for let's say Euro USD. So I'm going to open another standard lot for a different pair, right? With the same risk to reward, which need to be minimum 1:3.
Okay, cool. And so, you talked about trading pretty much everything. I mean, how many trades would you be having in a week?
Basically, as I said, like what I do, like I'm a swing trader, right? So I plan my trade in the weekends. So I do, like, I check the currency index first. I check the currency index first, like what the currency index is doing. And I put them in my Excel sheet, which gives me a result that the currency strength, is it good for selling or is it good for buying? So if I get that confirmation, then I jump into that chart. For example, let's say I want to trade Euro USD, correct? So I want to see that Euro should be in a demand and USD should be in a supply. That means I look for Euro USD to buy. Okay, so then I go into the chart. That's my technical. I look at the chart, where exactly is it too high right now or is it too low? Okay, it's too low. It's giving me a confirmation whether I'm going to go long. So based on that, I do analyze of the chart, and and I upload them on the website so my team can take the benefit of that trade. And on Monday, I come and just put my pending orders as a set and forget with like the pending orders, the proper stop loss, and take profit with different zones. So I don't stick to a system, right? So why did I left my job? Because I wanted to have independence so I can give a lot of time to my family. So this is where like I put my pending order. If I'm wrong, I'll be stopped out because I have my stop losses there. But if I'm right, I'll be getting profit in the market. So this is my daily routine. I spend like maximum 1 hour on the chart, not more than that.
Okay, cool. And what do you do with the rest of your day?
Rest of the day, basically, I have a daughter here, so she comes from school. I spend some lot of time with her. We go out in the evening. We go for swimming. I go to gym. And of course, Dubai, never ending, right? So everything is here for shopping. So we just spend a lot of time in the malls and all.
Okay, so I mean, it does sound like, as I mentioned at the start, you're a bit different from the average mum or dad trader out there. You had that, initial $1,000 loss. You also had that mindset of, I don't want to work it sounded like more than 9 to 5. You didn't want to work 10 to 14 hours a day for the rest of your life and give, basically pay for someone else to have a successful life. What do you think made you different? Why did you not fall into all those traps that everyone else did?
Well, as I said, like I realized after working 10 years that I'm working for someone's dream. So why should I work for someone's dream? I can build my own, right? So that's where I started with the trading. So I'm a full-time trader now. So, and of course, as I said, like being a trader also, it's a job, right? It's a job of analyzing your chart. It's a job of entering the market. But why should I spend a lot of time just doing that if I start trading a higher time frame? Right? I don't want to trade the whole session. I start sitting in front of the system where I'm going to spend 8 to 10 hours daily. No, that's like I'm still working, right? So I wanted to have freedom from the time. Yeah. So at the end of the day, I'm making money. So I believe in trading is a long-term game. So I don't want to get rich quick. At the end of the day, whatever money I'm making, I'm living a happy life in Dubai here. So I don't want to be much greedy. I have seen a lot of traders, right? So they make like 1,000% on their account in a week, and after 2 weeks or third week or after next month, you just go and ask them what happened to their account. I'm sure they must have blown that account, and this is where your psychology is going to affect. And this is where you start thinking and start doubting on your strategy. Is it really working or no? Or is it really for me? Or you start like, okay, this trading is really for me or not, So it's not an advice to leave your job and start trading. You can do a trading. Everyone needs a part-time income, right? You can do a trading, but start looking at the higher time frame. You do your trading, do your regular routine. There are a lot of people, they love their jobs. But for me, 10 years, I was really done with working for someone. I don't want to have this corporate rat race. So I have decided to give full time to my family, and here I am today.
Well, it sounds like, I mean, for me, if I sort of sum it up for everyone, it sounds like the higher time frames were definitely the key for you. Moving to the higher time frames, I like the fact you said, that that it's the only place that the banks and whoever else can't manipulate things, and they leave that trail of what they're actually doing. I haven't heard that before on the show, so that's fantastic stuff. And I think once people accept that, I think that's what you're saying. That's the game changer. And it's probably what made you different by accepting it straight away instead of fighting against it for years and years. Now, 3 things on a price chart. What 3 things would you recommend a novice or intermediate trader educate themselves on?
Okay, before they enter any trade, they need to know as a technical point, where is the price right now? Is it too high and is it right time to buy? Or is it too low? Is it right time to sell? Yeah. And of course, the fundamentals plays also an important role, but the fundamentals sometimes misleads you. Yeah. So you need to be careful when you're following a news. All right. So I just want to go a bit detail into this, the fundamental thing. Yeah. When I'm giving advice, just like last week, Mr. President Trump tweeted he made Dow Jones all-time high. I completely agree with that. But when he tweeted he made Dow Jones all-time high, what happened? what happened to the psychology of a retail trader, right? Next day, immediately they start buying. And the same time when he tweeted, I took the screenshot, I put it on my Instagram and I said, who's buying right now? You'll not believe next day the market drop of 5%, like a crash.
Yep.
So this is a trap you need to understand. And you'll not believe that this trade I have predicted a long time back, the market is going to go to that zone. And exactly that zone, I have few of my traders, they took the profit. They took the profit, and that's where the big banks and should start selling to the retail traders. So those who have no knowledge, they just jump into this market and burn their fingers.
Yeah.
So as I was saying, like they have to look at where the price is. Okay, if the price is too high, not to look for a buy, look for a selling opportunity. But of course, you need to have proper technical knowledge for that. Fundamental also plays very important role, and always trade zone to zone. If you enter middle of the zone, there's 90% chances you are going to lose money in the market. If you enter from the zone, your trades are high probability trades. You're going to risk small. You're going to make a good reward. And one other thing I wanted to tell this novice traders, stop jumping from strategy to strategy. Okay, there is no such thing called a bad strategy or good strategy. The strategy in which you make money, okay, that is a strategy what you're going to work on it. Yeah, there are people those who do a very good scalper. I'm not saying they're not good, they are good. That is their style because they develop that techniques in the sky in that trading, right? There are intraday traders who trades like a 1 hour 4 hour zones. There are swing traders there who trades for the weeks, for the months. So you need to develop your style, what type of trader you are first, right? And go back to the strategy where you used to make money before and do the back test on it. Start journaling your trade. At the end of the day, you will be profitable. But if you start doubting on your strategy and start jumping from strategy to strategy, I'm sure maybe it will take 10 years for you to be a profitable trader, or maybe you'll give up soon.
Yeah, it does seem to be the big thing, that the strategy hopping. Now, what about a trader's mindset? So how can you help our listeners out there with some mindset hints and tips?
See, as I said, like for me, trading is a long-term game. As a trader's mindset, 20% is your technical skill. So first, you need to know the chart. The reading the chart. When I say about technical skill, I follow the supply and demand rule or basic economics. All right. Second thing, 10% is your fundamental. So before you buy or sell something, a currency or any asset, you need to know the fundamental of that country, what's happening over there. Yeah. And remaining 70% is your trading psychology. When you start doubting your strategy, when you don't follow your proper money management, a proper risk to reward, that's where it's all go up. This is where it's going to all mix up. So you need to have proper plan. First of all, the technical skill is very important. A fundamental, of course, it's freely available on the website. So once you understand the technical, you can play with your fundamentals, and 70%, which is your proper risk to reward plan. In that you need to follow proper journaling of your trades. Okay, manage proper risk to reward. Even if you're like 40% time you make money, at the end of the day you will be profitable. But the money management is very, very important.
And what do you say to the people that out there that go, yeah, I know all that, but how do I do it?
See, I believe in law of attraction, right? So whatever it gets attracted to you, that's where once you start deciding, oh no, trading is not for me. So believe me, even if you take 10 different strategies, you're not going to be successful. So believe in yourself. Yeah, there's nothing is impossible in this world. All right, don't give up. Stick to the strategy which fits you, which makes money for you, and just rinse and repeat.
And so if the person was this trader out there, this fictitious trader is going to rinse and repeat something for the next month, what would that be?
Sorry, I didn't get you.
Oh, so if they were going to just master something for the next month, what would you tell them to go and master?
Sure. Just go back, journal your trades. Why did you take a loss and why did you make money on that? And try to avoid that type of trade where you took a loss. For example, for me, when I was a newbie, where, as I said, like I took a gold trade, right? And I blew my account in 4 hours time. So I still today, I go back and look at the chart and I start laughing at me, how stupid I was. Like, I sold gold at the demand where big banks, they're buying from it, right? So I was a liquidity provider for them. So it really sounds funny for me, but it was a big lesson for me, right? But still, I go back and I look at the chart, like, this is where I did a mistake, where big banks, institutes are buying and I'm selling to them. So I was a liquidity provider for them. So that's where you learn from the mistake. But trading is a long-term game. And when you lose money, don't consider, it should not affect your psychology, right? Because it's a part of doing business. Every business has a cost. Okay. So when you decide to become a trader, you need to take a risk, and risk is a part of your doing business. But a proper risk management is very, very important.
Okay, so quick fire round. How long did it take you to go from trading newbie to consistently profitable?
It took for me 15 months to be a profitable trader. After that, I resigned from my job.
What's your favorite entry setup?
I trade zone to zone. I buy from demand. I sell from supply based on my price action confirmation.
What strategies do you use to exit or manage active trades?
As I said, I open 2 to 3 positions. I take my first profit to the next zone, and the remaining one I move into break even, and my target will be the next zones, because the market need a room to breathe. So whenever the price make a new high, it has to pull back. So you need to have patience when the price pull back. So I trade zone to zone.
Do you have a recommended trading book or resource?
Trading book I love, which is the Mark Douglas, called Trading in Zone.
What's your preferred broker and trading platform?
In Dubai, I trade with Multi-Bank FX, and I use a TradingView to analyze my charts.
Do you want to walk us through I think you've already done this, the worst ever trade other than the gold one? Was there another one?
The gold was the worst one because I didn't put my stop loss, so that's, I still remember 4 years back. Apart from that, I put my pending orders, I put my stop losses, so if it hit, it hit. But I can't say it's worst. Maybe I was wrong that time. Only I can say worse if I don't put my stop loss and I'm just trading blindly without analyzing the chart, or just following blindly the news, which I don't do.
Okay, and last but not least, if you could leave our listeners with one piece of advice, what would it be?
Please look at the chart on the higher time frame. It tells you the whole story. And look at the chart as a naked chart. Don't use any indicators. It will tell you the clear picture of the chart.
Brilliant. Look, before we wrap up, what's the best way for the traders to get hold of you?
They can follow me on the Instagram at MillionPips. And I got my website also as MillionPips.com. And if they want to learn this strategy, they can learn and join my community, where I do a weekly outlook, and I'll share my trade ideas also with the team, so they can benefit also while they're learning.
Well, look, a big thank you to Aman for sharing with us today. Everything we've discussed here, along with all the links, are in the show notes. To find them, simply search for Aman in the search box on tradingnut.com. And until next time, wish all my listeners trading happiness and success. All right, there you go, guys. Interview done and dusted now. We did record a video after this. It's over there on the YouTube channel. Aman breaks down a recent trade on GJ. And in fact, I think I saw it the day or two after we did this video. He got the direction right and took his take profit as well. So, guys, head over there. The analysis is very, very good. Okay, it's very good analysis. You're going to learn a thing or two around how he reads zones, how he draws zones, how he uses his supply and demand technique, which is slightly different than I've seen before on the show. So, really worthwhile. Go and check that out, guys. Afterwards, there should be links in the description to go and check that. Remember, we got Trader versus Trader, we got TradingView Replay Challenge, we got Build That Bot. I'm going to release a video, hopefully with Momo, where we've seen some amazing things from the bot that I've created off his video as well. So, guys, that's coming up. And also the Robot Builders Club, the free training, things over there on Trading Nut to check out, get involved in. All right, guys, I'll see you in the next episode.